Thom Hartmann here on the news. You need to know this. The anti-austerity protests in Europe are growing bigger and bigger, with a major uprising in Greece, one of the nations hardest hit by the banksters' global takedown of the financial system in 2008. Yesterday, more than 50,000 people gathered in central Athens to protest their government's austerity measures, their transnational corporate tax dodgers, their banksters who crashed the system, and their corrupted politicians who are letting everyone get away with it. Untaxed corporate earnings make up about one-third, 30% of Greece's GDP, yet Greek politicians facing massive budget deficits have turned their chainsaws on working-class safety nets instead of corporate tax dodgers. Similarly, here in the United States, Republicans are bleeding working-class families dry with enormous budget cuts and trying to voucherize Medicare. At the same time, they won't touch corporate tax dodgers, other than to consider making their tax rates even lower, and they won't throw banksters in jail. The only difference between Greece and America is that there aren't 50,000 people protesting outside Congress today here in the United States. Maybe it's time we start. A 10th city is springing up around the state capitol in Madison, Wisconsin. To protest Governor Walker's radical right-wing budget plan, Wisconsinites have set up what they are calling Walkervilles, a take on the Hoovervilles during the Great Depression. More than 100 tents were pitched by 9 p.m. on Saturday night, and some people plan to stay camped out there through June 20th. Elsewhere, the Wisconsin Republican Party has a dirty little scheme to combat upcoming recall elections against their own state senators. As a letter from a Republican Party chairman read, "We need to make sure Democrat challengers face primaries to allow our Republicans time to mount a campaign." As in, the Republicans need to run fake Democrats in local elections to disrupt real Democrats from winning. People in Wisconsin are trying to throw Republicans out of office with recall elections, and in response, Wisconsin Republicans are trying to totally screw up the system. In the best of the rest of the news, a Bank of America was nearly foreclosed on in Florida after losing a lawsuit alleging that the Bank of America branch had improperly foreclosed on a Florida couple recently. The bank refused to pay the couple's legal fees, just over $2,000. It should be noted that this is the same bank that paid their top executives a salary of over $30 million each, yet it got off the hook for paying any income taxes in 2009. Despite that, the bank dragged its feet on paying $2,000 to a struggling family they'd screwed over. So in a sweet case of revenge against the banksters, 2 sheriff deputies showed up at the local Bank of America with a moving van and told the boss there that he had a choice: either pay up the back legal fees or get foreclosed on. Needless to say, Bank of America paid up. So I guess we can knock $2,500 off the several trillion-dollar tab that the banksters owe you and me, the American taxpayers, for crashing our economy. If you thought the recent job numbers were bad, with an unemployment rate ticking up to 9.1%, look at the unemployment rate for teenagers. Based on last month's job numbers, nearly a quarter, 25% of all 16 to 19-year-olds looking for a job are unemployed. In California, that number is as high as 34%. It's no wonder, though, considering that people with master's degrees can't even find a job at McDonald's, where a recent job fair collected over 1 million applications for about 60,000 job openings, and nationwide corporations only hired 54,000 Americans in May. You know your economy is screwed when 16-year-olds are competing with master's degree-holding engineers for burger-flipping jobs. Unfortunately, since most of our good jobs have been shipped off to cheap labor countries, the only jobs left in America involve that critical job skill of being able to say, "Do you want fries with that?" A new WikiLeaks diplomatic cable release shows just how powerful big oil is in charting our nation's foreign policy. Back in 2007, the United States State Department tried to sabotage an oil deal between Haiti and Venezuela, an oil deal that saved Haiti over $100 million that could be reinvested back in infrastructure, schools, and health care in that poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. But since we don't like Venezuela, we didn't want Haiti doing business with them, so we sent ExxonMobil to threaten Haiti with turning off the spigot. In the end, Haiti didn't fold and went ahead and bought the cheaper oil from Venezuela. Other soon-to-be released WikiLeaks cables regarding Haiti allege that the United States also tried to sabotage Haiti's attempts to raise their own minimum wage. U.S. corporations are apparently nervous that their cheap labor factories in Haiti are in jeopardy. Is Jon Stewart single-handedly bringing down Fox News? According to the recent Nielsen ratings, The Daily Show averaged 2.3 million viewers, a 19% increase in the month of May alone. and a number that beats every single show on Fox except O'Reilly. But O'Reilly's hold on the top may not last long either. His viewership dropped 9% last month, along with most of the other shows on Fox, especially Glenn Beck's show that saw its ratings plummet 17%. Overall, Fox News viewership is down 10%. Fox had a faux news bubble for angry white guys with their rants on guns, gays, and the war on Christmas. But now those same angry white viewers are thinking about economic issues as they lose their jobs and homes, and faux news' only solution is tax cut for billionaires like Murdoch. So even though The Daily Show is primarily a comedy show, as Jon Stewart himself often admits, more people are getting their news from Comedy Central than from Fox so-called news. Sad commentary on the state of American media when the battle for news dominance is between a right-wing propaganda outlet and a comedy channel. And that's the way it is today, Monday, June 6th, 2011. I'm Thom Hartmann on the news.